Hello everyone. First of all, I'm just sitting in front of my bike. I drive this bike on the track, and this bike is of 91, is a two-stroke engine. But what is interesting is this brand and the big achievement of Johan Mir becoming world champion in MotoGP. So, if you are still interested, let's go to part 1. Okay, ready to show you some tips and tricks for the glow plugs, but maybe to start with, let's have a look to the car. This is the car I just changed the glow plugs. It's from a Subaru Outback 2014, and let me tell you, only for accessing the glow plugs on this boxer engine, only for removing the splash guard to access the glow plugs is already an achievement. I will post maybe a video how to get there easily maybe later, but anyhow, I just changed the 4 glow plugs on this engine, and so we are ready for the small discussion and the small presentation I have for you regarding how to get the job easily done. Here is an overview about the tools and the consumables I'm using for servicing the glow plugs. In one word, do have the right tools before starting the job. The extended socket of 10mm should be used, so you can access very easily the globe until the end. But what I personally always do is to use a torque wrench, not only for tightening as usual, but also for untightening. And to give you an idea how it's important, all accidents with glow plugs and all failures, all breaks of the glow plugs occur when the people are in a hurry, and also when they don't pay attention to the maximal torque accepted by the glow plug, since the glow plug the mantle is made of steel, but it's not so thick. So you need to pay attention to the mechanical resistance of the mantle of the glow plug, and that's, if you don't, and if you are in a hurry, like I say, you might break it. So 35 Newton meter, it's quite okay. As you can see, no damage on the glow plug, and with that torque, with the help sometimes with the right consumables, job will be done quite easily. The next step is also to get benefit of Mother Nature, meaning steel can extend to a certain point at 60 degrees. Engine heads, when it's made of aluminum, have a different dilatation and the ratio, and we need to take, I personally always take benefit of this, to unscrew the glow plugs with a warm engine, not hot, not boiling hot, but warm engine. And so we take benefit of the engine head and the steel, which will be in a bigger clearance and could be easily to dismantle. What I do, if there is one stuck even with a warm engine, I don't hesitate to use a coolant. This is a coolant, a cryogenic cooling fluid, just on the glow plug, so we'll go to an extent to this difference in dilatation between the plug and the engine head. So what happens last is sometimes the plug is getting loosened, but not sufficient to get it totally loosened. Then always with the torque wrench, you go backwards and you go forward. This movement should allow the glow plug to find life more comfortable and the carbon debris around the plug to be slightly removed. It will start to beep. The beeping is not occurring on the thread, but it's occurring on the sealing point of the plug. I will come on that later. So if it starts to beep, it's a good sign. It means the thread is okay, and it's just to get the carbon debris now a little bit out of the way for the glow plug to be removed successfully. If still not, then I use a special spray, especially with the extension if you need, a special spray which is made especially for the plugs who started to get loosened, but not sufficiently to get totally loosened. And the main point to get the beginning of the thread in the engine head totally submerged with that fluid. So if you, like me, have a flat engine, don't hesitate to put the car on one side on a jack, so it will be lifted, and you are sure that by gravity the liquid will touch and will submerge the thread. And then, instead of waiting, like they say, 10 to 15 minutes, you can wait a couple of hours, have a good cup of coffee, I don't know. For instance, I don't never start the job on a Monday morning when I need to go to a client at 12 o'clock. I do the job at Friday evening, and so I have a couple of days, if necessary, to do the job properly and without being in a hurry. That was for untightening the glow plugs. With all these different possible steps, I never faced a situation when the glow plugs were no longer possible to be removed. The biggest mistake I made in the past was to refit new plugs like that, without paying attention to any detail, and just to get the job quickly, as quick as possible, quickly done. My recommendation is to avoid to be in a hurry also for fitting new plugs, and to take the necessary time to clean the bore in the engine head where the glow plug is located. It's not difficult to understand why. When you take the old glow plug out of the engine, especially the one which were difficult to remove, it's amazing how this area is always contaminated, filled with black carbon debris. And that part of the glow plug is the most important part, is the sealing part. This stepped section of the glow plug, once in position, will be in contact with the seat inside the engine head. And you can imagine, if the seat is not cleaned, this area won't be able to touch the seat correctly, and the leak will start immediately after a few miles driving the car back on the road, with, of course, a contamination of this area. And there you got the big words for in 100,000 kilometer or 80,000 kilometer. Big words will be heard when you are going to try to get this glow plug out of the housing. So instead of doing a quick job, which is going to cause a lot of problems in the future, my recommendation, and I use it personally, is to use that type of tool, which is called a Reamer. And the Reamer, you can see that the Reamer has the same diameter, and the Reamer exactly come on the same section and will touch the seat of the engine. You turn it clockwise and it will clean, it will take the carbon debris out, and the carbon debris will be taken by the grease which need to be put on the frill in front of the stepped section to clean the seat. Turn it clockwise. I do it by hand, maybe a few turns, and then I take the Reamer out, and you will see how amazing a lot of carbon debris will be taken by the grease, and you can easily take the carbon debris out of the engine without the carbon debris to fall into the engine for vertical disposal, or even in a smaller average, but for horizontal disposal of a cylinder, it's not suitable to have the carbon debris back in the cylinder when scratches might occur on the wall of the cylinder if you don't pay attention. So grease is mandatory, and a few turns, 5 turns, get it out, clean it, back again. In one time, take your time, and the last time when the grease will be like new grease coming out of the engine, and with this section being out of grease when taken out, will give you the right feedback that the new glow plug can be fitted back and in an ideal environment. About the torque. The torque now is very important, as you can see why. You can understand why the torque is so important, and it's very low value because the stepped section is in contact with the aluminum seat, and you don't want, because steel is harder, you don't want this section to groove, to go inside the seat, because groove is like a fail mechanical seal for pumps, it will leak immediately. So do respect the torque of 15 Newton meter to 20 Newton meter according to the brand you are using. Don't go over, just to respect the nice disposal about the stepped section and the seat inside the engine. One of the reasons why some glow plugs are so difficult to remove is because that part was leaking. And if you don't pay attention, if you fit new glow plugs without cleaning the housing, the problems will occur immediately, and you can be sure of the hell of a job with waiting for you in 80,000 kilometers for making a new service on the glow plug. There were on the YouTube there is a lot of different meanings about putting grease on the glow plugs for refitting purposes. And strangely, when you go to the website of the manufacturer, they always tell you that it should be fitted back dry without any lubricant. My experience is the following. For old engines, I put some grease, but not focus on the thread. Focus on the stepped section. Don't hesitate to put some grease in this section. So I discovered with old engine is with the heat cycles of the aluminum head with the steel glow plugs, the nice position of the stepped section and the seat tends to become a little bit like distortion. And distortion is the enemy for sealing metal to metal contact. So when old engines, I put personally some grease, and grease can be either traditional copper grease or the new ones like ceramic grease, which is based on aluminum, like aluminum oxide for ceramic. So anti-size is also okay, up to 1400 degrees Celsius. And also this special ceramic grease can be used, and focus will be in that case on the stepped section where the sealing area is so important to maintain the glow plug in good condition. A last detail which is not shown on every videos on YouTube talking about glow plugs, don't forget to decrease the moment value by 15 to 20% if the thread is greased. That's also quite important. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will put the exact brand and also type of tools in the description, and I really hope this all will be useful for you and to have a very nice experience by servicing yourself your own plugs. And believe me, life is beautiful when you've done it, and a couple of years later you come again to change the glow plugs and they go out so easily of the engine. What a good feeling. And I hope this will help you to have that good feeling. Bye bye.